Hello there, my name's Annette with Sunbeam Fabric Art. Welcome to my channel. If you've been following me for a while, you know that a lot of my ideas start out on a sticky note. This idea was no exception, and that was I had the thought, can I make an entire quilt out of a star leg block? So I plugged the star leg idea into my EQ8 just to draw it out with a white background, a light gray and a dark gray. Then I just started playing with the blocks, rotating them different ways to see what would happen. I really liked the way when I turned all the blocks where the dark gray was to the center, it made this secondary pinwheel flower shape in the middle. I also wanted to make this a layer cake project and see if I could use up all the leftovers as part of the project. I'm starting out with 16 white, and then I'm starting out with 8 light and 8 dark. The pretty fabrics you see on the right hand side are from an opened layer cake. I had used some of the fabrics out of here, and this is what I had left. I really like these black backgrounds for my dark. I looked at it in black and white, and to me it looks like that light blue background is too much like the white. So I went with this gray on the left for my light shade. I got that from cutting up leftover backing fabric into 10-inch squares. To start with, I just wanted to talk about how I'm going to make my star legs on a layer cake foundation. So I'm going to take a 5 by 10-inch rectangle, and I've got 3 marks down there at the bottom. One is the center, and one is left of center, one is right of center. I want to make sure I overlap by 1/4 of an inch, and that when this fabric is flipped back over the other way, it's going to cover up that halfway mark. And then on the right hand side of this bottom foundation layer cake, I want to make sure that there is a 1/4 inch at least overhanging the edge. So that gray needs to overlap a 1/4 inch at the bottom and a 1/4 inch on the right. And I also want to definitely hit that center line. I drew a little 1/4 inch mark on the wrong side of my gray fabric just so you could kind of get a closer look here of what I'm talking about. When that seam is stitched, I want to make sure it's at least on that middle mark. And up on the right hand side, we want to make sure we overlap that side at least a 1/4 of an inch. Once that right hand piece is stitched down and pressed back, we'll be able to add the dark piece to the left hand side in the same way. First, I'm cutting my 8 light and my 8 dark 10-inch squares exactly in half so that I have 5-inch by 10-inch rectangles. So again, I'm starting with 16 white 10-inch squares, and I'm now going to have 16 light rectangles, and once I cut the darks, I'll have 16 dark rectangles. I finger pressed a crease at the halfway mark on my first white square. Then I sat down at the sewing machine to get started. I'm going to make one complete star leg block before I chain piece. So I'm starting with my gray fabric. I've got it overlapped a 1/4 inch on the right hand side, and then I've got it lined up down at the bottom where I want it, and I'm going to stitch that 1/4 inch line. I finger pressed the gray fabric back, and then I put the dark fabric overlapping the edge of the 10-inch square a 1/4 of an inch, and also overlapping that gray fabric a 1/4 of an inch. And here's a close-up at adding that darker fabric. I think that's the more challenging because we have to not only overlap the gray fabric and the edge of the fabric at one side, we also have to overlap 1/4 inch on the other side. I finger pressed this dark fabric back so you could get a look at what we're working with now. We've still got that 10-inch square on the back, and we've got the dark and the light fabric overhanging. Let's get the rest of these 16 blocks stitched up, and then we'll take a look at what we're going to do next. I pressed all 16 of the blocks away from the white fabric. I pressed the gray to the outside and the dark to the outside. Ideally, you would think that flipping this over, you'd be able to just trim the edges of your 10-inch square and you'd have a 10-inch finish. Unfortunately, that's not the way real life works. The stitching itself can cause the fabric to shrink just a little bit, not shrink, but kind of tighten up. Even though I pressed it out, the 10-inch square was now more like 9 7/8 or 9 15/16. I mean, it was very close to 10 inches, and it'd probably be okay, but I did trim these exactly to 10 inches, and the white square was very rarely exactly 10 after I did the stitching. Now, one thing you'll notice as I'm trimming these blocks, I'm setting aside those triangle wedges that I'm trimming off the sides. Then I'm also flipping the block over, folding back the dark and the gray, and trimming off that white triangle underneath. I don't want to have these wasted. I don't want these to be in my scrap bin. I'm going to find a way to use all these pieces in this finished quilt top. It looked like the outer dark and gray trims matched up pretty closely to the white trimming I did, and then I had the little wedge shapes left over as well. I started by sewing the two small wedge shapes together, one gray and one black. Next, I took the larger triangles that I had cut from the white fabric, along with the larger triangles of dark and gray, and stitched those together. I pressed all these units that I had just made nice and flat. Now, to be able to make these little units into something, they had to be a uniform size. A 4-inch width for all of them worked just fine. And then I chose a smallest common denominator length of 6.5 inches. Now, the smaller triangle wedges were a little trickier. There really wasn't any way to put those together without matching up like a dark right next to a dark because they're triangles, almost 60-degree triangles. I decided to get some white strips from my stash and divide up the gray from the gray and divide up the dark from the dark with a white strip, and that way I could put these all together in one long strip going across the quilt. Now, what you see me doing wrong here, don't do what I did. I didn't allow enough room between these wedge units, and because they're at an angle, I needed about an inch extra on one side or the other to be able to fold this open and be able to use the whole amount of that white strip that I've got. I figured it out after about half of them, but these first few, it really messed up my vision, but I didn't take the time to redo it because these are just scraps anyway. They're going to get wasted, so I'm just finding something to do with them. I did a little bit of trimming on these wedge shapes to try and get some nice edges that I could join them together with other wedges. Now that I've got that white strip in between, I can join by turning one wedge upside down. They will join together and make a moderately straight row. I kept joining these little wedge units together until I had a nice long strip. I took all my bits and pieces to the floor to take a look at what I wanted to do. So I've got my 16 star leg blocks, and then I've got that wedge shaped row that I made. Then I've got enough to make 4 rows of those gray and white triangles, and then those dark and white triangles. Then it's just a matter of deciding, do I want to go with that pinwheel look, or do I want to go with the diamond look? I decided that I liked the diamond look the best, and that actually made it easy because it was sewing 2 blocks together the exact same way over and over again. Then I sewed 2 blocks together with 2 other blocks to make a row of 4. Then to put the rows together, I just had to turn 1 row upside down to get the diamond look that I wanted. I'm using clips to hold my rows together where the blocks join up. With my major rows together, I started sewing those small dark and white and then gray and white triangles together end to end. I had 16 dark and 16 gray, so I made 2 rows of each that were 8 across. Once I had all those rows together, I did want to show you a look at the leftovers from this project. So this is the true amount of waste I had. The 2.5-inch strips will go right back in my 2.5-inch strip drawer. But on the left, you see the pile of the true amount of waste. And there's really not that much. So I used almost every piece of my layer cakes here. I pressed all the rows that I was going to be using nice and flat. I pressed out that wonky wedge strip as well. Now that strip, I did have to trim the sides to a 3-inch width. Once I had everything pressed nice and flat, I simply added my made up rows to my planned rows to complete this quilt. I used the dark triangles on the top and the bottom of the quilt, and then the gray triangles I bordered the wonky wedges in the middle of the quilt. I decided I wanted a border on this quilt. I found this in my stash. It's a navy with a gold metallic fleck in it, and I cut 3-inch strips. I joined the strips together, and then I pressed those seams flat. I added the border to the edges of the quilt, just going around the quilt, doing one side at a time. The last thing I did was trim all 4 corners of the quilt and then press flat the border. I just love the way this quilt turned out. I wasn't really planning this quilt. It just happened by just the question, what if I made a quilt out of star legs? If you enjoy my videos, feel free to subscribe and click the bell icon. You'll get notified when I post new videos. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you back again real soon.